What's up, guys? GG Fade 23. Guys, I just want to talk to you about something that I never really talked about before. But, guys, when I'm watching a stock, any stock I'm looking at, I'm always trying to picture what the daily chart candle is going to be. Remember, guys, when a stock opens, right? You have the body of the candle. Let's take, for example, Nikola today, right? A lot of people probably fell for that first dip, but guys, remember, Nikola opened, started flushing right away. So that means we're thinking, all right, if that's the way that daily candle was going to end, that means that daily candle, right, was going to look like this. That daily candle would have been like this, no topping tail on it whatsoever because it just flushed at the open. And if we think it's going all the way down to the previous day high, that means we think that's just going to be a daily candle with no topping tail at all. Does that happen a lot? There's not very many stocks that just open and have a daily candle that's just flush with no topping tail at all, not even a slight one. Now, when it's squeezed back up through the open price, through this open price, that's when you start making a top and tail. Now I'm picturing, okay, how big is that top and tail going to be? Is it normal to see a stock that has if I think it's going to go down ultimately, right? Is it normal to have a stock that looks like this? Not really. It usually has a decent size, a little top and tail on it. Unless it's a top and tail daily, which I'll get into that in a sec. But for the way that opened and how far it had to drop, I'm picturing the daily chart's probably going to look something like this. A little bit of top and tail, then stuffed back down, all right? Now, if the stock's on day one, not a day two or day three, on day one, okay, then it's more likely that it could end up like this. Open, have a little friggin' bottom tail, right? A little. That's why I don't like when they go down really quick at the open first before they pop, because now that goes down, goes back through the open price. So now that's the bottom tail on the daily already set. So now we came down to support, filled some of the gap. Now this candle wouldn't look normal if it only popped up this high after that, right? If it only popped a tiny bit after that, and then had a friggin' and then had a wick like this, right? It was a little doji, weird candle. That would be weird on a day one. So I know in my head, I'm like, okay, it already made the open flush for the bottom tail on the daily. Now I want this to be a really big top and tail, come back down. So that's why I say when I say top and tail daily, I expect based on what I expect the daily chart to do, to be in top and tail daily, or it's going to end up just being a bottom tail with a friggin' huge body that doesn't come back down. But that's why I use the gap stats to tell me, hey, this should come back down and make a doji on the top, which would be a taller top than the bottom here. So, and then that's why also I don't really like to short stocks that are uptrending, because this is what usually happens, all right? If it's more than one day, more than 2 days, right? Look, higher low, higher low, higher high. Higher low, higher high, right? And then what happens up here, sometimes if you're lucky, the stock will open, it will push up, and then it will make it'll come back down through the open price, and it will make a huge candle that closes red like this. You see this a lot in the stock market. Sometimes they don't even have a big top and tail. They just gap up on the fourth day or some and close red. But other times, if it's not that extended, what happens is this day gaps up and goes like this. It gaps up, right? This is high. This is really happens a lot in large caps too. It gaps up, flushes, but instead of closing down here, it goes whoop, and it makes a fucking, one of these, because it's a friggin' super strong stock, uptrending still. So the first pullback goes to the ADMA and does a bottom tail. I don't really like to short those because I expect them to wick back. I'd rather long that. Not really in small caps, but bottom line is, guys, I'm always picturing what the daily candle is going to look like, and that helps me. Let's say, for example, NVIDIA today. You guys already know, I talk about this all the time. I'm kind of mad at myself that I didn't pay more attention to that. was focused on Nika a lot, but think about NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA today, all right? 3 days in a row, one day, day one. Day two, never mind the intraday price action, how it goes, go, boom, parabolic, that's where you short. But the daily chart, right? Third day straight up, all right? Guys, when I see that, if you look at the daily chart, right? When you see that, what is the chances? All right? What is the chances of that third day, um, of that third day parabolic spike on the daily chart closing at its highs, especially when the intraday price action has gone from a steady, sustained momentum to parabolic, and not to mention, guys, off the cheat code, off of the 10-minute EMAs, way off of the 10-minute EMAs. But the chance of this candle closing up here at its highs are very slim to nil. What there is a high chance of is there's a very high chance of this candle looking like this, having a very big topping tail on it, and maybe even coming back through the open and going red, right? At worst case scenario, there's an 85% chance on a third green day in a row that goes parabolic intraday, speed up in price action. You have an 85% chance this is going to be a top and tail daily, and you have still a pretty good chance that this closes red and at its lows down here, and that will be ideal, just like NVIDIA did today. Gives this whole move back. It's not a green candle anymore. It goes back through the open and makes a red stuff candle on the daily chart. But guys, point is, always be picturing what the daily chart is doing. Try to picture what candle we're making here and how can I trade that intraday, right? Perfect day three, parabolic speed up turns into a daily stuff candle. All right? Is it maybe you want to buy the dip on a stock that's uptrending that hasn't pulled? Maybe a stock broke out of a range, right? Broke out. Day one, breakout. Day two, breakout. Day three opens. Maybe it's a hard flush back to the ADMA, but you know that this candle is going to end up probably just having a bottom tail on it. It's the first big dip. Anyone who missed buying it on the breakout will still want to buy it. So daily chart, it has a big flush. How can I get in intraday knowing this is going to be a bottom tail? Or how can I get intraday, which honestly for that it's the same as this, but in reversal, extension away from the 10-minute EMAs, down to your level near the ADMA, and then you can trade the trend line break, or if you get a pattern down here, double bottom or a squeeze play, and then the EMAs start to curl back up, right? So many ways to trade, but this webinar, this is about just trying to picture what the daily candle should do, what it has the highest percent chance to do. And obviously we know in small caps what happens most of the time. In small caps, we get open, we get spike, we get come back down through the open price and close near its lows, sometimes with a little bottom tail, short covering at the end of the day, whatever. But most of the time we get pops, open price right here, the open of the daily candle, spike at the open into daily resistance, and then come back down through the open price and turn this candle red. Red, 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 red. And then either close at its lows or very close to its lows, way down here, because it has 90% gap stats or 80% gap stats. So we either get that or we get this total close at the lows. And this is just how small caps are. They're such diluted pieces of crap. That's what you get. This is just pretty much a daily stuff candle pop, just like a 1 minute chart, you guys. It opens, it pops, it slams back down through its open price, turns red. Just like on the 1 minute chart, just like on the 5 minute chart, just like on the daily chart. So remember that when you're trading. What is this daily candle going to do? It's a shitty small cap. It's probably going to pop a little and slam back down. Does this stock have the capability to make this fucking huge topping tail on it when it already has a 70% gap? I doubt it. Probably not. It's not gonna spike another 70%. It's probably just gonna do this right here. It's gonna pop a little bit, maybe 10, 20%, and then slam back down 80% of the time. And the ones that don't have very big gaps, maybe it doesn't have a very big gap, those are the ones that can open, dip a little maybe, and then give you this big top and tail because they're pushing up to the percentage of a huge gap. But then what happens? Gravestone doji all the way back down 90% of the time, and then closes like this. So you either get the big gap with the open and the slam all the way back down to make a daily stuff candle, or you get the small gap with a huge top and tail daily because it's instead of being a gap up to this fucking 100% level, it just runs up to that 100% level like S&P X or whatever it was the other day, and then ultimately comes all the way back down just like a day one gap it does, but it was a runner instead. Now, granted, these ones can be harder because it's not just a stock that's up 75 to 100% that is just going to pop a little, slam back through the open price and go. Because that's pretty much like something that pops at the open into a daily level, triggers, and then slams. It's easy to trade, especially when the open price is very close, because as soon as it falls back through the open price, it's on and popping. But if it's above the open price the whole time, it could be like, trading crazy, fucking, it could be doing whatever. But if you're just waiting for that very, very clear as day level, the clearest level on the chart, sometimes we get lucky and they're not such sloppy charts. And also, guys, remember, if this is going to be a topping tail daily all the way up, all the way down, dude, you don't have to catch the top. You don't have to catch the top. If you believe that that's going to turn into a top and tail daily and be a doji candle that's going to come all the way back down, guess what? You don't have to catch it up here. Let it show you some weakness first. And then, fib life to the fullest, 61 fib. I'm going to catch you there and have a nice day. And at the end of the day, yes, there was all this price action, but the candle still just looks like this on the daily chart. Wah, wah, wah. You didn't have to be first because you knew where it was going and your risk to reward was good without catching the top. The reason why people try to catch the top, you guys, the reason why traders try to catch this up here, most of them, is because they know they're going to cover into the first wash. So if they don't catch this up here, if they catch it down here, now what are they doing? Now they're covering only into this little wash. But if you're not going to be the first one to cover, you're going to be the last one to cover, you're in no rush to catch the top. You don't need to catch the top because you're going to cover down here. So guess what? Guess what happens? If you catch the top and you cover into the first wash, guess what? Maybe you made 2R. If you don't catch the top, you show some weakness first. You catch it right here on the fib bounce. Maybe it's risking 30 cents. But guess what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 R's down here. 5 R's not catching the top and a higher win rate than this guy who got diced up trying to catch the top here, trying to catch the top there, trying to catch the top there. Oh, he's now already down 4 R's just so he could scalp his 2 R's on the first wash. That sucks. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Look at the daily chart. Do all the other daily candles go like this? Pop and come back down. Right? Yes, that daily one popped and came back down. This one over here to the left also popped a little bit and came back down. Hey, the next one also spiked a lot and came back down. Just be aware. Be aware of what kind of pushing power that stock has the history of, and be aware of, basically just be aware of what the daily candle you're looking at, should do. Is the stock in a range? Is it only pushing a little bit? Does it not have a very big, ATR, average U range? Maybe it doesn't push that far. Well, now we're kind of talking more like large caps, but, so yeah. It just helps to picture it. It helps to picture what you think the daily candle is going to look like, and then you have basically you have something to trade off in your mind imagery in your mind of what the stock should do. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's helpful or not, but whatever. Anyway, all right. Have a good night, guys. Thanks.